Afternoon. I'm Dara Bunjon. I'm the food enthusiast here at Jamer Living. I'm a food writer, food stylist, PR maven, and a frustrated baker. Those of you joining us live, drop your comments and questions for my guest or myself into the comment box, and I will check from time to time. You'll see me turn my head and watch. So we ask you to join in. We're a smidge late tuning in, but technology, we mastered it and we're here. Today, my guest is from Cowtown, the Stampede City, the Blue Sky City, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. My guest is Chef Liana Robberecht, one of Canada's distinguished leaders in the culinary industry, best known as at Chef Liana. Her philosophy is that food is the fabric of community, weaving people together across cultures and generations. Food is more than sustenance. It is the universal language that unites, uplifts, and connects. If you are a Top Chef fan, last season they shared a bit of the culinary scene in Calgary, from the annual Stampede to the Indigenous tribes. We're going to learn a bit more about Calgary. Let's bring Liana in.
Mm.
There she is.
Hi, my friend.
Hi, I'm just refreshing the screen here so we can, you'll see me. I tend to watch that more than the telephone. It's great to see you again. It is a little after 11 a.m. in Calgary. So what's on your plate to do today other than doing the show?
Well, right after this, I am putting on some Christmas gear, and I am going to see a couple good chef colleagues, and we are doing a promo. We're getting a photo shoot and getting ready for we have a big Christmas charity where all the December 3rd, all the chefs unite, and we're doing for the magic of Christmas. We're doing a big Christmas cookie charity. So all the chefs, we have like over 70 chefs in the city. We donate our times and talent and raise money for the magic of Christmas. So it's very awesome. So myself and Jason McKay, you remember him?
Jason.
Yeah, and another Leslie Horton, and in Calgary, we do this fundraiser for the magic of Christmas, and once a year, and all the amazing chef community get together, and they bake some bake, a minimum is 300 cookies. And what's unique about this charity is that everything is donated: their time, the ingredients, the venue, and then all the patrons of Calgary, they line up like a rock concert, and all these cookies get sold like without over in an hour. It's like bananas. It's so crazy. And like one year we raised over $60,000.
Really?
Yeah, in just over an hour. It's magical. It's really crazy. So that's what I'm doing. So after speaking with my lovely friend who I haven't seen for a long time, which is you, we're getting ready to do that. So that's
so. Let me ask you this. Tell me about the cookie you're baking.
Oh, I'm really excited because I'm baking a espresso bourbon. So Woodford Reserve, yeah, like no fooling around there. Chocolate, yeah. So cocoa berry, like Calibo chocolate cookie, and those ingredients are also. So we have a flour sponsor, like Ardent Mills flowers. We have Foothill Creamery butter. We have eggs, and bourbon. Everything is all donated. So we have suppliers that help and donate, all help with the food costs for all the chefs, and everyone comes together for all this charity. Yeah, so cool.
It sounds like it's great to have that. You're very much into collaborations anyhow.
Yeah, right.
That is in your
it's
title.
fun.
Absolutely. I always like to talk about the family table and what inspired a chef to go into food.
Yeah.
And I watched some videos, but one of the things I know was your father, may he rest in peace.
Yeah, thank you.
That you talked like 3 times a day, and you talked about food every day.
Yeah, we did.
I don't know when your mother and your father divorced. I know you're close with your stepdad,
Yeah.
but what was your family table like? Who was
Yeah.
the cook in the family?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say me actually, but my family, like I'm really close to all my family, and my mom and my stepdad are they always sit at the table now, and I spend a lot of time with them in Edmonton now because I work part-time in Edmonton currently, and I stay with them, which is really a blessing, and they're just amazing, and they always spend time at every meal at the table. So I spend a lot of time with them. And yeah, the family table is really important. So food is a really important part of my life. And for always when my dad was alive, he was obsessed with food like myself. And like there was in Edmonton, there's this delicatessen and we would go there just to like look, and sometimes we'd buy, he loved jams, so sometimes he'd buy all these really unique jams, but sometimes he would just go and we would just look at all the unique things, and we would just love it. Yeah, he was just amazing. Oh yeah, it was great. He'd always put things on the scale. He'd like every year he'd be like, oh yeah, I made this, and it's like I was about a 6 today, Leanne, I was about a
Oh, okay.
6, or
Everything got
oh,
rated.
it's about a 7, or yeah, I made this soup and it was about a 3 today. And I'm like, okay, okay. And I'm like,
That's
well, what
great.
was your French toast today, Dad? Or he'd make himself his own blueberry pancakes. Like, he lived by himself, but he really loved he loved food. He'd make his own meals, and yeah, it was the best. Yeah. And he'd have his
And
little list when I come to visit. He'd have a list of things that I would definitely have to make for him every day. But I'll tell you a funny story, Dara. Like
sure.
my parents, like I've been a chef for many, many years, but weirdly, it was like my parents actually didn't know what kind of chef I was. So I'd always say, "Hey, you want me to make you dinner?" Like, "Oh, no, no, no." And for some reason, not till like COVID, my parents didn't really actually clue until I could actually make food for them. Yeah, my mom and my stepdad came to visit, and then we couldn't go out to eat. So I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, what time are you coming to arrive?" And so I, made them some food, and they're like, "You made this?" I was like, yeah, I made this." Like, "You made this?" I was like, "Yes." I'm a chef, right? They're like, "Oh,
They
babe, you
didn't
made this?"
comprehend. I mean, you're the chef at Woodsport,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, the big stadium there,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
the Petroleum Club, the
Yes, yeah,
Calgary
yeah,
Petroleum Club.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's like you tell them you do all these like fancy things and traveling and going places, but I don't know. It's just like, oh yeah, babe, that's what you do for work. But they really didn't connect to like actually what you do. They're always proud of what you do, but they don't really connect to what you do for some reason.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Um, yeah, I'm noticing, I know that painting behind you, the octopus, you painted that,
Yes,
didn't you?
I did.
Yes.
I did. Yeah.
And you are an artist. It's important what that plate looks like.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
continued your education.
Yeah.
You did some culinary school, and then you went some more culinary, and then you
Yeah.
took art classes and
Yes.
business.
Yeah.
And it was something about giving you a depth, I guess, a depth of feel or dimension to your plate. Talk a
For
little bit
sure.
about that.
For sure. I mean, I'm obsessed with food and art, and I really believe that having a good, solid education, not academically, but even like fundamentally, to understand how to plate and how to bring those visions to life, structurally, is really important. So, yeah, like two-dimensional art, three-dimensional art, sculpture and design. Um, I went to school for those, and it's really helped me to allow to all those visions that are floating around all the time, because that's what happens in my life continuously, and then it helps me to translate and bring those kind of visions to life. So yeah, that's from my parents encouraged me from like finger painting, to paper mache, to bring those into my life. So yeah.
I want to tell people how we met because we
Yes.
both miss it terribly. there was an organization called Women Chefs and Restaurateurs. I think it had a lifespan of about 23, 24
Yep.
years, maybe a little bit longer. And it sort of went over to James Beard.
Yep.
They sort of shut it down, but the Facebook page still maintains, we still connect. And I posted that Liana was going to be on my show today. And all the gang, the people that used to get together at these conferences. And Liana was, if it was 20 years ago, she was a wee little thing that she
Yeah.
came in. I think it was Louisville at that conference.
Yeah.
And you had, I'm not sure you had the beret on, you had something in your hair.
Yeah, of course,
And,
always.
right. So not only can she create beautiful food and paint, she makes these fascinators, these hats,
Mm-hmm.
little clip on everything, and she'd come in. But the gang from Calgary, the girls would come in, you and Patricia Koyich.
Yeah.
If she's watching, hi, Patricia.
Yeah.
And the crew would come in. These were party animals.
Yeah.
We'd be
We
getting
still
up
are.
and in the morning and you'd just be getting in from being out. But you are a huge mentor and supporter of women chefs. Now, you went in how many years ago to the Calgary Petroleum Private Club?
Yeah.
I'd never had a woman chef
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how was that? And then going into Winsport, being a
Yeah.
woman chef, overseeing,
Yeah.
what was it, 3 kitchens? Talk about
Yeah.
that a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, back in those like old-timey days, being a woman chef wasn't great, and as part of changing that culture, and I went through a lot of hardships for sure, and all those awful stories when you hear about sabotage and all those things, and I went through all of those things, and I was happy to belong to an organization that surrounded myself with mentors, and those conversations of women that helped me go through all those troubling times and help me uplift myself and have a soundboard to like, okay, you know what, life can be better, and there's support, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and give me strength to myself to move forward, because sometimes you don't think you can and you do. And it was amazing. So women chefs and restaurateurs really was a big part of my life, and it still is, because all those friendships and all those people that I met 20 plus years ago, they're still in my life. There's still a foundation that they built those bricks. Those are the bricks of myself. They really are part of who I am. Yeah, it was incredible. I remember because I was in Chicago at the restaurant, the food show, and I was walking down the path, and then I saw this little booth, women chefs and restaurateurs, and I was by myself, and they were selling memberships, and I was like, and I was talking to somebody, I don't know who it was, and I was like, well, talking about I'm like, I'm a female chef, and I was like, oh, and then I was like, well, would you do you accept Canadians? And they're like, we accept everybody. And I was like, I'm in. I went back and I talked to my boss, and I was like, can I join this association? And my general manager, he was so amazing. And he was like, yeah, you can join that. And then I was like, I really want to be involved. And, I've been a volunteer participant my whole life. And he was like, yeah, you can be involved. And I was like, I want to go to this conference. And he's like, yeah, you can go. And then I went to all the conferences, and then it grew to be part of myself. And then later I was,
Was your vice president?
Yeah. Then I became the vice president, and then I was talking with, Jason McKay, and one year, and he's like, what do you want to do? Like, what's your plan for the year? And like, and I was like, what I really want to do. And I said, I really want to bring my biggest like aspirations and goals. I really want to bring that conference to Canada. Like, I just really feel like that's would be really important to me. I want to have like all those feels and all those connections. I want to bring them to Calgary, and I just feel like that would be really great. And he's like, oh, that's all you want? And I was like, yeah. He's like, picks up the phone and he's like, let's make it happen, Liana. And I was like, okay. And, we did that, and we did that for 2 years, and it was such a great, great moment for me professionally in my life, for sure.
The connections are great. I want to talk a bit about your food.
Yeah.
You are now, we've mentioned places that you've worked. You've put in the Petroleum Club, Winsport. You
Yeah.
worked at a senior living,
Yeah.
is it assisted living or just senior
Retirement.
living?
Retirement.
Retirement community.
Yeah.
And now you're with this Brew and Bloom.
Yeah.
Brew and Bloom.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the creative director there. Yeah.
Tell us about that, because that's pretty unique, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is unique. I love it because, I met them, I met the owners like 5 years ago. I was consulting with them, and they're amazing. And their restaurant is very cool. It's very floral, I love it because it's very female forward. And the food has a lot of intention, because I myself have been cooking with florals. It's been part of my philosophy for a really long time, because something that I don't, I love cooking with florals because they have a lot of intention. They have a lot of like properties and healing properties. And so aesthetically, they look very beautiful, but there's a lot more to that. And so I think quietly, you do that for so many years and you don't talk about it. But I think now is a time in everyone's life that people are listening to, like, yeah, you know what? There's more to it, and that people are willing to listen to that kind of conversation. So that's why I'm very excited to be there. And so that while the food is very beautiful and it's very tasty, there's a lot of other things, woven in about that. So people that are into that kind of cuisine are like, yeah, you know what? I can go there and have a delicious burger or pasta, but I can get a lot more for it on another level. So that's why I'm very excited about it.
Is that where you did the Equinox dinner?
Yeah, that was an idea I had for, like, oh my gosh, like so many years. And the owner's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I have this idea. And she's like, she's very spiritual. She's an incredible person. And she's like, I love it. Do it. And so each dish was like, aligned with your chakras. And then it was guided with a mini meditation between each course. And it was sold out. It was very well received, and the food was like beautiful. So it's going to happen again. It was really great. So that's what it is. I have all these ideas that all the time that are just filed in, and now I have the opportunity and the platform of this incredible woman that's just like, yeah, you know what, let's do it. So yeah, so it's the creative freedom and the support to, like, let's do it. And the staff there is like really incredible. They're engaged and they're excited and they're young and, ambitious, and they're like, yeah, let's do it.
I saw the picture on your Instagram, and the table the room has flowers all around it, but the table and the florals were unbelievable. I love a beautiful table.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's already, you come into this intention already, right? So it's the room is already set with all this intention. So it's already sets everything. And then you follow through with all these beautiful mindful bites. So I mean, yeah, it's already, you're already set for the day.
So you do a newsletter called Cooking with Color.
Yeah, I did that for my personal project, as a tribute for my dad, because I was having a very hard time just dealing with grief, and food was something that we talked about every day. And I have some close friends that was just saying, you should journal. Everyone said, you should journal, you should do this, you should do that. And I was like, well, I don't know. I needed to find some kind of happy medium, how I could really kind of like tribute myself and connect with my dad. and that's how I did it. That's why I did it, and it's really helped me.
Yeah.
And it connects with
You,
people.
yeah. Well, and you also have a recipe in it, and all the contact information is coming up for Liana.
Yeah.
And I'm just checking to see if there's anything more here. I'm watching. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So any questions?
Yeah.
People who are listening, so that's great. And I think I just hit the volume on this by mistake. Where are we here? Yeah, let's see. Bring it
Yeah.
down.
People always they always, the, the, the questions that I always get all the time is like, well, how are you able to be so creative, or what's your favorite dish to cook, or, and I'm like, well, I'm not a, this is what happened at the Equinox dinner. They're like, how do you think of these things? It's like, well, you know what? I'm not a chef that's known for a signature dish. Like, that's not what I'm known for. I would say I'm very much known for creativity and textures and experience. That's that's what I'm known for sure. And collaborations. I'm not a competitive chef. I'm very a collaborative chef. I that's what it is. It's that connection. And I love that. That's my jam.
Yeah. I was speaking with a chef friend here in Baltimore. Um, I think I probably went in Friday, and we were talking about, she's been in the city for many a year. And last week I spoke with a chef who had been in Baltimore, is now retired, living out in California. And there were collaborations in the days in the 90s and the aughts, but things have sort of changed in this area. Um, I don't see too much, some of the charities that get together, but what can I say? Maybe I'm just not attuned to what's going on nowadays in Baltimore. But uh, the get-togethers, the sharing, the charities, and working and doing all that, there's so much. Brings me to, I want to talk a little bit about Top Chef was Canada Tourism
Yeah.
underwrote Top Chef for last year and last
Yeah.
season. They spent time in Calgary. And I didn't know if you were involved in any of that behind the scenes or it was something else.
No, I got invited to go through my awesome friend Nicole Gomez, who was, obviously she won there, so that's how I got that invite to be on that show. So, and I have friends that were on there, so I'm lucky to be connected in that way. But I thought it was a really great way to showcase Calgary, and I think we're really lucky because I feel in Alberta there's so many incredible chefs that are so talented and they're so amazing. And I think what's nice too is that finally it's like we have so much happening in culinary. It's like you don't have to travel to Europe, you don't have to travel anywhere. It's like, you know what, you did just to travel right here in Calgary, because there's a lot going on that is worthy of any show, any magazine, and any award that's happening right now. So it's incredible. It's a really good time for Alberta, I feel.
And I think Calgary's the third largest city in Canada.
Yeah,
Fourth.
yeah, and it's beautiful too. Like, there's just
Yeah.
stuff happening all the time.
And we have, you know, part of the Top Chef or learning about Calgary
Hmm.
is there's a lot of indigenous people, the Blackfoot, um, the Mepsis, the Stony Nakota,
Hmm.
a lot of Indians. How has that influenced the food that you do?
Well, I grew up like making bannock my whole life, so it's just a part of. I never thought about it because it's always part of like who I am.
And what was that, bannock?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is bannock?
It's
That
like
is so.
fry bread.
Oh,
So
okay.
I never thought about it before because it's always just part of Canada, really. For me, anyways, like that's just part of my own culture. Um, yeah, but I think it's great that it's finally on the map. There's lots of really good Indigenous chefs, and Shane Chartrand. Like there's really incredible things happening in Canada and in Calgary and Alberta. But for me personally, I it's always been around me all the time. I grew up in Smithers, BC. Like I grew up. Like I know what soap berries are. It's just been around me all the time. So
You sort of take it for granted because it's
I guess I
there.
have. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I think that's something people can look forward to, and they can come up. The big annual stampede, that is
Yeah.
the big thing. You want to talk a little bit about that?
The Stampede is like the most fun anybody would ever have in their life ever. So they should always come to the Stampede. But more than Stampede, they should be coming up for the Terroir Symposium, which is going to be happening at the end of May 27th to June 2nd, and that is a food symposium, and that is, I would say, for those missing WCR and they want to get together, that should be the meeting place where we could get together. So everybody buy tickets and come to Calgary.
Well, you know what? I have this up here.
Yeah,
I'm pointing like you can see. It's up in the comments. There's a link to
yeah,
symposium. And I want to tell people that you're still gathering speakers
yeah,
for the symposium.
yeah,
And there are enough food people who watch this that if you have a story or if you
yeah,
have something you want to talk about, it's about terroir, or if it was a chef coming from Maryland talking about what's available there as to
mm-hmm,
seafood and what's happened with the Chesapeake Bay
yeah,
or
yeah.
wherever. So many options. You don't have to be in the food business to come up and enjoy it. And
You do not.
I'm sure there's plenty of meals and plenty of chefs
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to come up and do that.
Yeah,
And
it's also public facing too. So Terroir is also for invites public as well. So there's also pop-up dinners, collaboration dinners as well. So it's really it's a great symposium.
okay.
It's the legacy year. It's the 20th year. So it was founded by Arlene Stein, and it happened in Toronto, and now it's moved it over to Calgary. So I'm involved in that as well. I love to be helping to organize, as you know. So it's very exciting, and some of the WCR friends are also involved as well. Amanda Cohen is involved. Elizabeth Faulkner has been involved in the past as well. So it's very exciting. So
So
it's
I don't know Amanda Cohen. It's Dirt Candy in New York.
mhm.
Strictly, it's like one of the original high-end vegetarian restaurants and very unique, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Cutting edge as
Yeah,
to, I remember her talk about tipping and
yeah,
not tipping. And she was one of the first to go into the no tipping. And Elizabeth Faulkner, everybody knows Elizabeth, from the different competitions. And she now has, I'm trying to
here
think of the
tomorrow.
fig,
Yeah, the date. Yeah,
the date,
yeah,
the date liqueur. Can't remember the name, but
tomorrow.
these tomorrow. Thank you. These are all connections that were made through this organization, and we are missing it. Those who are on the WCR page saying, oh, I miss it, I miss it. And maybe this is a great opportunity. Marsha Hara,
Yeah, I love her.
yeah,
I miss so many people. It's just, yeah, I just, I just miss it. So yeah, Dee Dee Sampson, she's come up to Terroir as well. So yeah, it's been great. So I think, people that are missing that, come up to Terroir in May. Let's get together. We could even like organize like a little get together and go out. I would love to organize that for sure. That would
yeah.
be amazing.
Well, we'll put it on the Facebook page,
Yeah, yeah, that would
and
be.
just for WCR. But people, the connections right here, you can reach out. Just wondering, we've been seeing the Northern Lights down here. Have you been seeing them?
Yeah, aren't they amazing? They're so
Absolutely
electric,
stunning.
incredible.
Yeah. And on your last newsletter, Cooking with Color, you had a recipe for Indian carrots.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
is it regular carrots, and because the way you make it, it's Indian?
No, no, it's a variety of carrots. It's a varietal of carrots. They're very red, so they're sweet and they're dark red. They might be called it something else, but here they're in the store. They're called Indian carrots. They're delicious. Yeah.
And let's see, you use ginger, eggplant, roasted walnuts, sesame
Mm-hmm.
oil or sesame seeds, sesame oil,
Yeah.
and mint, lemon, and lemon zest and honey. Sounds so good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. I love cooking so much. I make that dish for myself. I was like, I just made it for myself, and then I made that recipe because I just posted it just on Instagram, and then had so many people like, I want that recipe. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll create the recipe and send it.
Well, you celebrated Thanksgiving back on October 13th. We have it coming up next week.
Yeah.
Now, traditionally, for us, it's turkey, it's stuffing,
Yeah.
and the stuffing varies from where you grew up, whether it's cornbread, whether it's oyster stuffing, whether it's regular bread stuffing, blah, blah, blah. Tell us more about Thanksgiving in Canada. What's the same and where are the differences?
Yeah. Well, it's not as sweet. The big difference that I always notice about American Thanksgiving and Canadian Thanksgiving is that American Thanksgiving always seems to have a lot of sugar in it. Like a lot of, like the yams with the sugary topping on it, or the marshmallows, or, that sort of thing. I don't find that in Canada at all. Like we don't have that.
Okay. So what's your ideal Thanksgiving plate look like? What's on it?
Sushi. I'm
That's
personally not a big
honest.
that I'm personally not a big turkey person. Matter of fact, when I used to be married, we would never have like turkey. We would always go out for sushi. But when I have to make a Thanksgiving for like my parents, then yeah, I would definitely make turkey with a delicious stuffing. With they like bacon, like celery, carrots, the traditional kind of stuffing. Yeah.
I'm actually doing like a Friendsgiving. I got a good deal on a turkey breast. So
Yeah.
I figured I'd roast it off and then just have it in the freezer. So I invited a couple friends for tonight. And we'll just do the typical stuffing, etc. But one of the things that I grew up with is they serve sauerkraut with it
Oh, I love
because everything
sauerkraut.
was so
Mm.
rich that the sauerkraut was served. And talking to people, and they go, I don't know from the sauerkraut. So it sort of comes from the German background
Right.
or a half done pickled tomato, a green tomato,
Oh,
pickled green tomato, something to break that up with. But definitely, if you were like from the Eastern Shore by the Chesapeake Bay,
right.
the oysters and the stuffing.
God.
I'm just trying to see. We're going to go here. Let's see. Where are we doing? Oh, okay. I guess we've run on and on and on, which is good.
I love that. A good food conversation is always delicious.
Well, after last week's show, with my friend Michael, who was out in California, I said, I think we need to discuss some of this stuff. I said, I'll call you after the show. And so we did. And we talked for a good hour and a half. Certain things we really couldn't put on air. Uh, so, one of the things I found out about you is that you're a pen nerd,
Yeah, I
that
love
you
pens.
collect
Well, I love
pens.
stationery. So yeah, I love pens, and it was something my dad really loved too. Like we both loved pens. Um, I love pens. Yeah, I love writing. And notebooks. I have a lot of notebooks. I always have a notebook with me all the time because I always like to write down ideas and little sketches of food or, you know,
Oh, that's great.
yeah. So in my purse, I always have like a little notebook, and I like pens, and I always carry my a backpack with me, and that's why I have another notebook. I always have a sketchbook with me at
Let
all
me ask you
times.
this. Do you have a fountain pen?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
When growing up, there weren't ballpoint pens when we started off, and not
Yeah.
you, but me and my sister. So we had fountain pens, and the favorite color was peacock blue.
Oh,
Just loved it. Just loved it.
oh, oh.
So I digress, but that's common with me
Oh,
at
I love that.
times.
And paper.
Mm.
I love paper too. Like that's why I love Japan so much, because in Japan they have the most exquisite stationery stores, and then you, you just die because you just go in there and there's just these beautiful papers and all these beautiful pens and notebooks, and it's like I just want to pull up my little bed and a little couch, and I just want to live in there. I don't ever want to leave.
Yeah. Well, I know it's one of the things we can continue to talk, but I do have questions at the end of the show,
Mm.
not like the video. I saw one where they said, we have 25
Oh
questions.
yeah,
You
yeah,
give
yeah.
us a number. Now, you
Oh
know in
yeah.
advance, so you should be prepared.
Oh yeah.
What was your ultimate culinary fail?
Oh, well, I have more than one, but I would say my most one that I love. Okay, first of all, I love anchovy stuffed olives. So when I was working at the Petroleum Club, sometimes we have these dinners. I thought I had this best idea ever. Because I'm creative. I thought I had this best idea ever to have this Caesar salad with these anchovy stuffed olives, because I thought that would be so delicious. I thought it was like the greatest freaking idea ever. However, nobody else agreed with me. During this dinner, it was like the members hated it so. Maybe I had maybe two people liked it. They hated it so much. It was like, the scene of like Frankenstein, and with all the lynch mob with the pitchforks and like all the things. That was pretty much like all the members with that Caesar salad idea. It was, yeah. I mean, I still think it's a good idea. I still think I could bring that back and revive it. That's how
Well,
committed I am to it.
maybe you will, because I
I
like
should.
anchovies and I like olives, so it sounds good to
Like
me.
together, like they're so good, and in that salad, because it's creamy and it has all those, in the bread. I still think it could work. I still think it's a delicious idea, but it didn't. That was a real epic fail at that time. Did
Maybe
not.
don't call it a Caesar salad because people have
Yeah,
a
yeah, maybe that.
preconceived notion.
Yeah, it
Give
was like, whew,
give
like
it
there was
another
like
name.
there was a lot of letters. There was a lot of, they want to send me back to culinary school. There was like it was a serious thing. Yeah, it was really bad, but I still think it's a good idea. But
Yeah. Okay,
boy,
well, let me know. I'll help you
yeah,
work it out.
that
Uh,
was literally probably, well, that was over 20 years ago for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like over 20 years ago for sure. Yeah.
All right. Leanna, if you wake up tomorrow morning with a new talent, what would the new talent be?
Well, I wish I could sing. Yeah, I do. I mean, my father was a good singer. My sister can sing. So I think it's really unfair that I can't. And I sing all the time. Matter of fact, when I'm in the car with my mom and my stepdad, I sing, but they vetoed it. They were like, "No, stop singing." But I still.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
There's the story I've told in high school. We were graduating. It was a large class, but they were going to sing the song When You Walk Through a Storm.
Yeah.
But they tested all the students before, and they told me just to move my lips.
Yeah. Well, many years ago, we had a radio in the music in the kitchen because they're like, chef, can we get some music? I was like, what? They're like, well, and I was like, oh, you want me to stop singing? They're like, yeah, yeah.
All right. If you could go back to your 18-year-old self and give your 18-year-old self a piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh my God. Save more money for sure. Definitely. Yeah. Probably that. Yeah. Chill
Okay.
out. Don't stop taking things so seriously.
Well, things aren't, as we get older, certain things that matter when we were younger, we could care less now.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
true.
What's the best bite you've had all week?
All week, my best bite. Uh, I had this really delicious apple. I'm obsessed with like apples, and I'm just trying to remember the name of this apple because it was just a new one that I just picked up at the store. Um, and I can't remember. I honestly can't remember the name of it. It was like a new little tiny apple, which not a rocket apple because that's my obsession.
Cosmo?
Maybe that's what. It's not a cosmic apple, but it's a new small apple. I'll have to like, I'll log on and I'll put it on your page because it was like delicious, like really super super yummy.
I'm just seeing. I think people were just busy watching. They're not leaving any comments, but
Yeah.
that's okay. The majority of the views come
Oh,
after the live show, so we'll go there. What are two must that have to be in your refrigerator, Leanna?
champagne, always, and apples.
Okay, all right. And I
Yeah.
think I remember, were
Hmm.
you one of the ones with Marsha Hara in San Francisco that was drinking the leftover champagne?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't put that past me for sure.
Okay. No, everybody had gone up to bed and all the tables.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Okay. All right, Leanna, what didn't I ask you that I probably should have?
well, you didn't ask me about my little Momo.
He turned 50, she,
She turned
teen.
15. Yeah.
You threw her a birthday party, didn't you?
Yeah, right. She's like, I would bring her here, but she's in Edmonton right now with my parents. So I would bring her out here and to see how cute she is. But yeah, she's like the highlight of my little life, my little bestie. That little dog is like so cute.
And 15 and still feisty.
Yeah, she's still feisty.
I like her tail. Pink is your color, and you have the
Yeah,
tail
yeah, yeah,
pink.
yeah. She's so good. And I think so you didn't ask me about Momo. And then I think that I truly think that if everyone just like got together and came out to Terroir in May, I think we could have a really good revival. And I think we need it.
I think we definitely do. And I definitely, there's at least one, party left in me. So,
There is more than one.
oh, well, I fall asleep too early nowadays.
I always just like every single time, like all the conversations, like especially in the very beginning, like I remember I miss Denise. Like remember she was like one of the very first members that really like you and Denise like really took me in uh and really showed me so much like love and introduced me to so many people.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
and
It
Kathleen Blake.
was, but I remember, you know,
She was
just the
really,
gang. Yeah,
yeah. Everyone in there was just and still is. I know I could call any single person and they would pick up the phone.
absolutely. All right, so WCR
Yeah,
people, go to the
yeah,
page, more details to come.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
For that.
my regards to Patricia.
Yeah.
because I think the last time I remember her was the Chicago.
Well, she's amazing as
Yeah.
always. She's beautiful, talented, and
What's she doing
fierce.
now?
She's teaching at State, and she's got her master's. She's like incredible. She's changing the world as usual.
Great. Let's stay in touch.
Yeah, thank
Liana,
you.
big moise, and Griffin will leave me in as I have some announcements to make. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Dara. It's so nice to see you.
Okay, everyone. Next week's guest, that's plural, is Mark Robinson, author, entrepreneur, culinary enthusiast, whose passion for exploring the intersections of food, wine, and culture made him the perfect partner for Joe Lurch, a restaurant owner, educator, and flavor innovator. Robinson and Lurch came together to create the Wine Matrix, a series of videos on wine. Joe and Mark have just published a unique cookbook called The Art of Spice and Wine Pairing, Simple Recipes to Enjoy Every Day. The book is in chapters under specific spices with recipes with that particular spice, let's say thyme or ginger or whatever. There are chapters on that. And then the suggested wines to enhance the spice in that particular recipe. Expect a lively conversation. You can reach me at Dara Cooks on Instagram or on Facebook as the Food Enthusiast. JMoreLiving.com. Under the food menu, you will find the Food Enthusiast link, so you can find all the videos there. And there's also, usually at the end of every video show and the information, you can link up for the free bi-monthly food newsletter from More Living. All shows are immediately archived in video form on More Living's Facebook page and jmoreliving.com. We truly appreciate it when you share our show with friends and family. Feel free to go back into our archives and enjoy past shows. May your plates always be